start by smoking out my eye with my Visions of Beauty. This shade is called Mud Bath. It's a beautiful, beautiful, rich brown. I'm going to roll it on the inner part of my eye to create the contrast between my lashes and my skin. And then we're going to put just right on top and just start stroking this in. Very, very gently. This is actually going to act as your shadow base. And you see how you create a beautiful, beautiful shape. This is going to be your domain, so to speak, of where these colors need to lie. I'm actually going to sharpen this. That's one of the things about gel liners. They do have to be sharpened pretty often. So make sure you have one of those rightly available. And then I'm just going to kind of create the shape just underneath. Not everybody will need this part. I like to open my eyes up with the liner. Sometimes you tend to make the eye appear smaller, and I like to kind of open it up by using a liner just underneath. Definitely bleed it on the inside of the eye and drop it just beneath as well. Don't worry about it getting too, you know, slippy, because however it starts is not how it ends if you complete the technique. I'm actually going to move in, as always, with my middle finger or my pointer finger and just kind of blend it up. You can actually use the middle finger as well. See that? And just kind of smoke that out just a little bit, gently, gently, gently. You don't really need a brush for this step here because it's just going to create a smooth, smooth smoke. I do always keep a towel or a baby wipe just underneath my camera, so therefore I can clean these two fingers off because they're going to be very, very instrumental in this look. And then I'm going to grab my flat definer brush. This is the E15. It's a Sigma brush. And I'm just going to really, really smoke this out just by pressing the product in and removing any of the skipping that may have produced itself as I was applying it. I'm going to go ahead and move into applying pigment. This is going to be the Mello by Visions of Beauty. It's a beautiful, beautiful goldish yellow hue. And I'm going to grab this middle finger right here and just really apply that product. Look at that. Look at the impact. Because your gel liner is still slightly damp, it's going to grab this really ever so slightly. Now, I do have a little bit of mascara on just so it could have dried before I get ready to apply the lashes. So you girls that are applying, have your lashes on, you know, your lash extensions and things before you apply this, be kind of careful and make sure that you go back and finish that off and make sure you remove any of the pigment fallout from the lashes so the look looks very, very crisp and precise, okay? I'm going to push this in. Push, 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 push. Next, I'm actually going to move to a flatter shade of yellow. This one is actually called Sunkist. It's more of a shimmery, yellowy ice shade. I'm going to use that same. I'm going to use this finger right here, press it on, and I'm going to move it right to the inner and create that beautiful, beautiful overlay. You see that? Pop, 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 pop. See how I'm getting just a little bit of fallout? Don't worry. How it starts is not how it ends. And I'm going to go into using a little bit of the pink. This is called Girly. Girly. That's the pink. And just going to put that on the tip of that middle finger. And boom. Look at that. And drop it right underneath. Girly. Love that. Beautiful. On this eye, I made a mistake and used a fatter brush. I'm going to show you guys the difference between using my finger and my brush. This is the brush that I use. It's a synthetic brush. I actually use some of the e.l.f. Shadow Stay. It does tend to mute out the color, so if this eye looks a little bit more intense, it's only because I use a different technique. I realized that after I started applying that my finger is just going to be the proper applicator for this look, so take heed. You can actually see the difference. It might be barely noticeable, but just remember, if you guys are photographing and things, you want both eyes to look exactly alike, so therefore same technique on both eyes. All right, so let me just sweep this off. That's gonna drive me crazy, and I'll clean that up in just a minute. All right, so now we've actually kind of allowed my pigment to start to set, and I'm just going to use my this is my MAC 286 brush. It's a synthetic brush, and I'm just going to kind of whisk this out real quick to make sure there are no lines of demarcation. And then I'm going to go in with a shade called New Love. It's a beautiful, beautiful pink, and I'm going to start allowing that to be my transition. Just kind of a cleanup. Dust that on. Take it just barely right above that brow bone, just barely, but leave your eyebrow beautifully crafted. You notice I did my brows before I came on camera, and that was actually created with the Visions of Beauty powder. Let's see here. It's called Wine Brown, and it's a brow palette, and it's just, you know, the wax and the powder. So gave me a really, really pretty sculpted brow, and I'm just going to kind of continue to blend this in. And the reason that I applied this first is so when I go in with a little bit of this gel liner, I'm going to go back into the mud bath, and I'm going to just gradually stroke this. I don't want this to set as much as it would on naked skin because I want to be able to blend it out. Just going to kind of stroke that out just a little bit, and I'm going to start to pull this in with my flat definer brush again. Make sure it's kind of cleaned off. So like I said, work with you a towel or something just beneath, so if you're using similar brushes you can wipe off any excesses necessary. You see that? Just kind of pull that out to recreate the wing, upper wing, so to speak. And it kind of flattens out a little bit. No worries. And just retrace this. Now, those of you that are afraid of this, you know, you can actually stop with just creating the, you know, the contrasted pigments. But I wanted to bring this a little bit more current. This is a little bit more runway. And so just going to kind of jet that out. Now, you notice how this one has a little bit more depth. I'll show you how I did that. But first, I'm actually going to grab a little bit of my Rusty Nail and using my MAC 217. Rusty Nail is by Visions of Beauty. And we're going to just kind of gradually buff this off here. Blend that out. Just blend that out. And this is a brand new MAC 217 brush, and let me tell you what, I can tell. The other one I've had for about 10 years. I have 2 of them, and they really do last quite a long time. But I can tell that this one here is newer, and I like that because I get a little bit more firmness of application, so I can kind of blend this out really, really nicely. Next, I'm actually going to go into my Inglot. This is the 77 black gel liner using a hard definer angled brush, and I've seen these made by e.l.f. This one I believe is by Benefit, and I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm going to grab that, and the tip on this kind of goes at a slant, which is why they call it an angled definer brush. And the trick with this, when you're creating the cut crease, is to allow the brush to work. It is already angled, which means that you should have no problem allowing this brush to work. If you grab it really, really tight, you're going to have to rely on your hand in your craftsmanship. If you allow the brush to work, then it's going to allow you to create a lot smaller brush strokes. So we're going to try this right now. I'm going to drop this just below where I've already created the depth with the liner. This does not require a whole lot of product to create this because the Inglot is so pigmented. It's overly pigmented, guys. You just gradually create your trace here. If you need to go back into product, it's much better to do that after you've already started it. You make sure you don't have too much product because cut crease is already a pretty precision look to begin with, and you don't want to go in with too much product, okay? Gradually drop that below. Allow that line just to be your trace. See what's happening there? And make sure you get both eyes to look as closely as possible. And I'll flank out on the end with the tail. We'll do exactly the same thing, flank out on the tail. Go back in, just blend just ever so slightly over that with your Rusty Nail, and then I'm going to create a beautiful transition here just to kind of warm this up with a little bit more of the new love. Ah yes, that's coming together very, very nicely. You might have to go back in and retrace just to make sure you get both eyes looking exactly alike, and it really comes together as you continue to blend. So touch up is necessary. crazy thing too, most people's eyes are a little bit different shape, and it's always much more apparent when you do a cut crease. So kind of get used to, especially your face structure, if you're creating it on yourself. If you're creating this look on someone else, take your time. But I think it's a little bit easier to do on someone else because you can really look down on the eye and see if there's any imperfections on the eye. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. Practice with this. It's taken me a long time to get comfortable with this look. I remember the first one that I put on YouTube. You guys hated it. All right, let's let that settle just a little bit. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a little bit more of this yellow, which is the Mello. I'm going to do that and flatten that out just a little bit. I swear, just using my finger gives me a lot more pigment than using that brush. So definitely I'm glad that I figured that out. It's just, you know, it's a lot less demure. It's actually a lot more pigmented. So now we're going to create my bottom cat eye. And this is, I want to make sure this line is as close to my lash line as possible. And you see what I'm doing? I'm applying this brush right on that skin, allowing it, and just pulling it. Because that skin is going to go back, okay? I don't really like to pull on my eyes because there's really nothing there to make that skin bounce back. And honey, I'm already puffy enough. I don't want to incline any fine lines to find my eyes any faster than they already have. So we're going to just blend this out. And flake that out just ever so slightly. Now you might find it beneficial to grab your concealer brush. There's no harm in that. I'm going to just grab my concealer brush. This is the F75, and just going to gradually clean that up. See that? Okay, make sure both of them are just as open. And because I've cleaned up now, I know exactly how far out that's supposed to go. I think I need this to go up just a hair. Alright, we're going to do a little bit just underneath here. Pull that third wing out. Your concealer brush. And pull it up. Not really applying any concealer. Not really applying any concealer on that, just allowing the residue to work for you. Alright, and guess what I'm going to do? Open it back up. And let's move in with a little bit of the Girly. And it's a final detail if necessary. Make sure you got those eyes looking identical. And you notice I don't mind going back in and re-cleaning up because, like I said, I didn't do them simultaneously. And sometimes the second time around is better. So if I had to go back in, don't hesitate. It's much better to go back in and adjust than to walk around without your wings straight. I mean, that's just not what we're looking for, guys. Not what we're looking for at all. And I definitely don't want you saying, oh, I've been watching Makeup by Kiani, and yeah, she didn't go in and fix it. Some of the things I do off camera, you will never see. But I'm showing you this because this is a very, very precise look. And you know what? The more I do it, the more we learn. So, and let's add on me some ginormous lashes. I think I want to roll, while that glue is drying, I'm going to roll right on the inside of the eye. Go ahead and make sure those lashes are good and sticky. Get that glue glue enough time to set a little bit. Get some mascara on these bottom lashes. Rake it on the top too. I think I'm actually going to apply a little bit of gloss. This is going to be my Sweet Dreams. And there you have it, my requested yellow and pink eyeshadow tutorial. Thanks so much to those of you that have subscribed so very much. We're now finally just past 2,000 subscribers. Woohoo! That means discounts for you guys. That also means more giveaways. I'm so excited to have my new sponsors on board. My Hair Fetish by Moon is actually starting to sponsor my hair, as well as Visions of Beauty for supplying me with most of the makeup used in this video. Make sure you guys go to the down bar. You can actually see the discounts that are actually coming your way for being subscribers of mine. Makeup by Kiani. Any color combinations you would like to see for inspiration, that I'll be rolling these videos hopefully out pretty quickly. Now it's summertime, the kids are out of school, so I have a little bit more time on my hands. As well as follow me at love_Kiani on Instagram. You'll see who I'm applying these tips and techniques to. Now it's time for my very quick close-up. Until next time, bye.